and hit mute for yourself, Rhonda, and you can hit start recording for me, please.
We're good.
Okay, welcome everybody. This is Steve Ryder coming to you from Scottsdale, Arizona on a beautiful overcast day. It's not bright and sunny as usual, but at least there's no snow on the ground. And I'm very, very proud to present our Star Power series today, The Secrets of Success. And we have two very, very special guests. One is Ray Turner from the East Coast over in Florida, and the other one is Kyle Wigley, and he's from the West Coast over in California. So we have two definitely different markets. And the one thing that I find very, very interesting, and I think everyone should be thinking about, is in both of these markets have been labeled as tough markets. Florida early on was labeled as a very tough market, a hard market to break into. Business going, there's a lot of competition there, and so far Ray has done just an excellent job digging into the trenches, getting a foothold in his market in Sarasota, Florida. And I'd also like to mention that not only has Ray done a good job, but we've been able to do a great job in Orlando and also in the Tampa market. I don't know if everybody saw the Facebook post yesterday, but Dan Grebe, one of our BTI specialists in Orlando, just got recognized by Lennar Homes as the salesperson of the year that sold more, the top realtor that sold more homes for Lennar than any other agent out there, to the tune of 8.1 million in volume, and I think a lot of those commissions were 4 or 5%. So do the math, guys. You can see that this is a great opportunity, and really what we're going to highlight today is talk about just some of the basics. How do you get started? What are some of the key factors that have been attributed to our two guests' success? What would they do differently? And then also I'm going to take a minute towards the end of the presentation and try and explain some of the new tools that we have coming up. We're really going to need all of you to get on these webinars and pay attention to them over the next 2 weeks as we introduce new product. I apologize up front that we're going to bombard you with a lot of information, but we have a lot of stuff coming out on the first, so you will need to stay tuned to your emails. You're not going to have to attend any of these webinars live. They'll all be recorded and given to you. So let's go ahead and go to the first slide, and I'll introduce our specialist. The first one is Ray Turner, and Ray was born in Australia, educated in England and Canada. He heads up his group over in Sarasota, Florida, and Ray, why don't you tell us, just give me a quick 1-minute tour, a little bit about your background, how long you've been in sales, rather than read this. Let's hear a little bit from you, Ray.
Sure. Well, as you can tell, I got the white hair, so I've been in sales a long time, 30 years. I headed up a mortgage banking team, so we had 80. I ran the state of Florida in that, and then segued into real estate from there. So lots of sales experience on the street, and then lots of experience running teams. So that's the Reader's Digest version right there.
Perfect, perfect. And then the other guest that we have is on the other end of the spectrum and the other end of the United States. He's over in California in Bakersfield, and he heads up the Wigley team. And him and his mom, I had an opportunity to do our first interview with them, and we talked a little bit about our goals and had an opportunity to expand our goals and expand our thinking. And unlike a lot of the other coaching companies out there, we do record 95% of our calls. So if anybody would like to hear that, I have asked Kyle and his mother if it would be okay to replay those now and again and just kind of provide a little inspiration because I think they were not only inspiring, but was a good opportunity for them to break out of their box, so to speak, and think a little bigger. So Kyle, welcome today, and why don't you tell me just a little bit about yourself?
Thank you, sir. I'm honored to be here.
We are the Wigley team in Bakersfield, California, so let me get the Gary Keller out of the way, and if anybody's looking to buy, sell, or invest, we're your team. We have been in business, our team, for 20 years. I'm a third-generation realtor. Last year we had sales of about 243 units, and we are very excited with the Builder Trade-In program, and have already I love it, and I can't, like you said earlier today, I can't sleep at night thinking about how big I can make this program in our town.
Perfect. So let's go to our first slide, and our first question is, tell us about your top achievement or your top moment in the past year with the Builder Trade-In program. Kyle, why don't you go ahead and start with that one?
Well, by the end of the year, I hope to have our third national builder under contract and adopting the Builder Trade-In program. And that's been in 5 months or so. We have just really followed the model that you have set forth and boots on the ground, and looking forward to all the possibilities that it entails. But like I said, our big achievements would be 3 national builders will be our partners by the end of the year.
Perfect. So let's expand on that just for a second, because, you know, sometimes we get caught up in really big numbers when we look at some of the teams and we talk about REO or we talk about short sale. I'd like to talk about, you know, let's do a pros and con. If we had a pro and a con, and we were going to talk about lead generation, and we had to pay $2,500 a month towards Tiger leads, and those had to be paid by you, not by a lender or by anyone else. So now if you've got $2,500 a month that you're spending on Tiger leads, you now have to have, you know, maybe you're going to get 500 leads a month. You have to have 1 to 2 people that call those leads. They've got to be paid hourly on our ISA model, or plus a compensation. So that could cost, as you're chasing the cost of those leads, that could not only be very labor intensive, but you're really chasing the tail of the tiger, so to speak. On your 3 deals, what would be the average sale price for those 3 transactions? Or if you have them just off the top of your head, what are the 3 sales prices of those 3 new homes?
$333,000.
$333,000. So at $333,000, and are you getting on those a typical 3% co-broke?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So a 3% co-broke is basically $9,900. And if you make $9,900 times 3, that equals $29,700. And you've been in the program 5 months, so you've got $5,000 invested. So for your $5,000 invested, you've got a return of about $30,000.
That's correct.
Pretty excited about that?
I'm ecstatic about that.
And the nice thing is you were able to put in your time. And when we talk about prospecting and we talk about marketing, there is definitely a difference. And in today's world, prospecting allows you to put in more time. And I'm a believer, and always have been, in the downtime, you have more time than you have money. And your opportunity, if you're doing it yourself and you're face-to-face, belly-to-belly, is about 80% higher than if you're just marketing and sending some sort of material or calling people that may or may not be interested in buying or selling. Wouldn't you agree, Kyle?
Absolutely.
So these are just some of the pros and the cons that I'll come back to as we're kind of looking at the model of the builder trade-in and the rate of return therein. And then one other thing that I will talk about is this is a marathon, not a sprint, and these people that we're talking to are long-term big thinkers. And they're thinking not only today and what they're accomplishing today, but what they can accomplish in the future. So Ray, why don't you tell us about one of your top achievements that you've had in the last year with the Builder Trade-In program?
Well, to dovetail on what you were saying, Steve, you know, to get belly to belly, face to face, I got face-to-face about 3 weeks ago with Mattamy, the area manager, and KB Homes in 1 week. So in the span of 48 hours, I secured both those national builders. So that was my best week. It was a real feel-good week. So we're out to six national accounts right now.
Wow. So we've got 4 national.
Yeah, that's done. All of I can say I've secured all of that top down by having lunches.
Okay, so we've got 6 national accounts for Ray. We've got 4 national accounts for Kyle. And Kyle, how were you able to secure your accounts? Top down or bottom up, or a combination of both?
Combination of both. Majority would be from bottom up because we had, with our history in real estate, we had relationships with the on-site sales agents that were friends.
So here's something that's interesting. You see, guys, when we do this and when we tell you there's a couple of different ways to do this, I always get the question, which one is better? And I have to snicker to myself because the answer is both. And let me just give you a little bit of information. I'm going to brag on my wife just a little bit because I don't really sell anymore for the Ryder Elite team. But she's being coached by Tony DeCello. Tony DeCello is one of the top coaches in the nation and only coaches 28 teams. Out of those 28 teams, only 4 of those teams hit their goal this year. Only 1 surpassed their goal, and that was my wife and the Ryder Elite team. And they surpassed it by approximately 15 to 18%. And one of the interesting things that Tony was using a couple of weeks ago as a topic of conversation is how do you go out if you're behind on your goals, and what systems do you have in place that you can go out and do those more consistently or more frequently and generate more business and catch up. And when he asked that question to Beth and I, we said the exact same answer that we always say, go to builders. And it doesn't matter, does it, Kyle, if you're going to builders and visiting the sales agents and really making those fruitful, great, solid relationships, or if you're going to lunch and schmoozing with the big top dogs, right? It doesn't matter. It's just go do it.
That's one of the things we found. Even if the companies won't adopt a program, those on-site agents, because you followed the models that Builder Trade-In has set forward, your friends, and they want to do business with their friends.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
and go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, sorry, Steve. I'd like to jump in too. I mean, I guess what I meant by top down, it wasn't black and white there. Certainly we did guerrilla marketing for probably the first couple of months before we even struck out. But the point I was making is if you get belly to belly with the decision makers on that top-down call, that's where I get the high conversion, trying to do it over the phone via email and everything. So we do I'm with Kyle, we do a combination of both. It was really important to, follow the 8 weeks to success, but to clinch the deal and make sure that everything's above board, face-to-face lunch meeting for the top-down, really, that's the conversion for me.
And to add to that, one of the things they do in Dallas very, very well with another one of our top teams that's going to do over 500 transactions, and that's the Spalding Pyron team. One of the things that I got from Leonard and Chris is they take their sales agents to lunch off-site. So it's a combination of what you just talked about, grabbing a sales agent, but instead of sitting there in their sales office and having that possibility of an interruption, they make it special. They take them to a local restaurant where they're recognized just like you would be under the 7 levels of communication by Michael Mayer, and they're treated well and they're talked about by name. They introduce the sales agent to the waitress and to the manager, and it's a special, special thing. And so those are some of the things that we talk about that really make a difference in this business, and I appreciate you mentioning, Ray, the 8 weeks to success, because that is one of our keys that people look at as a fundamental that they know, but I'll be truthful. As much as I talk to people, only about 5% of them actually advocate it, and those are the people that are successful. So in our next question, where it says, what do you believe is the key contributing factor to your success, what would you say, Ray?
Yeah, I would say the relationship building process, it's really important to realize you've got to build those relationships. So use the tools, use the systems and models in place. Like we mentioned, the 8 weeks to success. Put them on the 8x8. Put them on the 33 touch. You know, the coaching that's available through your group between Nan and my coach Mickey. Absolutely instrumental in keeping it on task. Like Nan keeps us on task on how to build those relationships properly, and helps me with the sales management piece of it, because I make the rain, and we've got 2 guys on the street right now, so that's been instrumental in our success. But I would say overall, it's not rocket science. It's like any sales. You're developing relationships. You have to be consistent about those efforts and follow the model.
And what are you thinking for 2015? Give me a little bit of an idea on what you're thinking of expansion on your team.
Yeah, expansion on our team, we're expanding geography-wise. I mean, certainly Florida was a hard-hit market in the Depression, but right now, it's a hotbed, so it's a very target-rich environment. We've got advantages over other marketplaces for sure. So we're aligning with some business partners down in Naples, which geography-wise, just so you guys know, it's about an hour and a half south of here, and we're going to use the builder trade-in as the lead for our expansion. So one, I can tell you, recruiting salespeople to it, it's very easy to sell. It's a great recruiting tool. So really, that's it for us. We're going Naples. We're going to expand our geography that far south and then fill in the middle.
Perfect. And Kyle, as far as what would you say is one of your key factors to your success, and then what are your plans for 2015?
A couple months ago, Mickey is my coach with the program as well. He told me, he said, get over yourself. There's people that are better than you. And so he said, your one thing as a team leader is to master, recruit, select. So we are constantly looking for people, and like Ray just said, it's a very easy program to recruit agents to. It sells itself. Consistency would be our biggest contributing factor. When we first started, I tried to hit all of the sales sites. There's 26 in Bakersfield, new home division or new home sales sites with about 14 different builders, and you just can't do it all by yourself. So we had to refocus, do the 8x8, 8 weeks to success, and narrow that down to about 10 or 11 agents so we could really hit it effectively. And once we did that is when we started having success. So, and for expanding the program, we plan on going into the county next to us, possibly 2 counties within the next year. My father is actually starting the 1st of January, will be the OP of 2 new offices, and I'm going to be starting a team in his offices as well, and hopefully using the program.
Perfect. So let's backtrack just a moment and get a combination of both of your input. As far as from Recruit Select, I'm in the process of writing a book called The Keys to the Kingdom. And it's all about having different lines in the water, so to speak, because as we think about Recruit Select and we think about the theory behind it, there's 2 other components that many times that we miss. So the Recruit Select process, and fundamentally, is we have to have a recruit process in place. So we've got to have lines in the water in multiple different areas to attract different types of talent. And then from that different types of talent, you're going to get a whole vast array of different opportunities to build a very, very good all-star bench. And let me give you an example. One of the key recruiting areas may be a real estate school. We know that today's real estate agents that are coming into the market are by far more educated. They're looking for various opportunities, so that the type of talent that's coming out of there is not only a lot of them, a good volume of people, be a good diversity of people with all kinds of ethnicity and different backgrounds and different languages they speak, but with really no true focus yet. They're thinking maybe I'll do commercial, maybe I'll do new home sales, maybe I'll do residential, and until we put them through our process, the select process, they don't know and we don't know, and we need to help guide them. So where would be, other than a real estate school, we've talked about in our processes and systems, we also look for new home agents when we're out there, and we're talking to new home agents. We're trying to find someone maybe 8 to 10 years in the business that has children that are now maybe 5 to 6 to 7 years old. They're now in school, but they still need a little bit of attention, and they're in all kinds of plays and sports and stuff, and the agent has been missing that stuff on the weekend, and that agent wants their life back. That's another ideal recruiting area. Kyle, give me a recruiting area that you might focus on.
We have agents in our office that might be new agents and are lacking training and guidance and want to be part of an expanding team where they're really getting the training, and that's where we found our newest builder trade-in specialist, Holly. She was an agent in our office, got out of the business for the last 2 years. She had 7 years of experience before that. Had some family issues she needed to take care of and didn't work for the last year and a half to 2 years. Decided to come back, and she's going to be a great asset to our team.
Perfect. So let's write that down. That's something that you might have missed, but what a huge opportunity. Ex-Keller Williams agents or current referral agents. You can go to your team leader and say, give me the roster for the last 3 years of the agents that quit Keller, and let me see if I can get them back. Do you know of any of these people? Which ones do you think have a lot of potential? What a great recruiting area, Kyle. That is awesome. Ray, same question. What recruiting area would you suggest?
Yeah, I'm with you with the on-site reps. I mean, the profile that I'm looking for is slightly different, and it could be market-driven, but we've got a lot of younger agents coming into new home sales and realizing the same thing. The weekends are tied, and there's lots of restriction around that kind of it. But they've got the right energy. Recruit Select, I think, as you mentioned, it's a great format, but at the end of the day, we can't coach attitude. You can have somebody that's high and everything, but still doesn't have that energy that I'm looking for, attitude. And the young folks that I'm seeing out there on site, there's some real firecrackers. So for me, that's my primary focus is there. And Mickey has constructed, my coach, has constructed a really good ad that we get enormous response from. So those two things, as well as leveraging team leaders. So
okay.
And the on-site reps.
All right.
I like younger, high energy. That's my MO.
Okay, on-site reps. So we've got on-site reps, agents coming out of the school, agents in the office, old agents, Keller Williams ex-agents that quit and went into different fields, which this is a perfect opportunity to bring them back, leveraging your team leader. We know we've got title companies and we've got lenders or mortgage companies. We've also got different types of affiliates. Maybe they're with, Cutco, or they're with home warranty companies. So these are all places that we want to take the ad, and we will forward the ad and attach it. If you could send that to us, Ray, we'll grab it off the server, and we'll forward it with this recording so people can look at the ad and then go to these recruiting sources, guys, because we've talked about several recruiting sources. Let me count: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 recruiting sources here. So a good opportunity for you to leverage yourself. But you take the missing person ad, you put on there your team and your team values up at the top, and then underneath that the ad. So people know about you, they know who to contact, You may not want to be contacted, Ray. It may be someone else on your team. And then one of the last points that I have in my book, The Keys to the Kingdom, is do it regularly. Schedule regular interviews every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Get in the habit, get your whole team behind you. Everybody's responsible for getting a new possible member to the team to the office Friday morning at 9 a.m. And you have them stacked every 10 minutes on top of each other. Everyone has already taken a disc test, and your whole goal, Ray, is to do exactly what you just talked about. Measure their passion. You take 10 minutes, you measure their passion. If they look good, we put them through the AVA. If they don't look so good, that's a new MET that has something going on in their life that's changing. And if you impress them, if they buy or sell a house, they may go through you. And if you tell them, hey, if I can get you a job at a new home builder, at a lender, at a title company, would that be okay if I pass forward your resume? Of course they'll say yes. And then a handwritten thank you card goes out and they go into your MET database. So now let's talk about the last question. What's the one piece of advice, Kyle, that you would give a new home builder agent? If you were just starting, or if someone called you and said, Kyle, I'm excited, I'm getting ready to start, what would you give me as far as the one suggestion?
Pick 7 to 10 builders you want to work with and follow the model. 8 weeks to success, consistency. It's all you have to do. The program sells itself if you follow the model.
Perfect. And when you say 7 to 8 builders, do you really mean 7 to 8 communities?
7 to 8 communities, yeah. And if you're by yourself, if you're a brand new agent, if you have a team, you're a team leader or a team owner, you obviously, yes, you need to be very involved in the program and use your leverage as having relationships with the on-site people and the sales managers and VPs. But if you're by yourself as an individual person, start small and then go big. But if you have a team, right off the way, if I could go back, I would have hired a builder trade-in specialist from day one. That was the greatest mistake.
Okay, and Ray, and that's the thing, you fall or fail forward, and here's the deal. Let's all feel sorry for Kyle that he made $30,000 on his $5,000 investment for making a mistake. So Ray, what are your numbers for this year? Do you have any idea, my friend?
I know exactly what I've got in the pipe for January is $2 million.
Woo!
So we got, yeah. $2 million in production, strictly BTIP. So, it's got the goal for next year is to have the 24 million run rate. That's the specific goal.
All right, 24 million. And what would be the one piece of advice that you would give to someone if they were just getting into the program?
Well, I can tell them, where I fell backwards a little bit was losing sight of the fact that it's a relationship business. Really focus on how to build those relationships. It's a lead generation program, not a lead receiving program. So follow the model. The model is really good about mapping out how to create those relationships and establish those relationships. So it kind of dovetails on what Kyle is saying. Don't lose sight of that. Is when you lose focus on the relationship building is where you'll see. I would say, then we jump back in the wagon again. So don't ever lose sight. It's a relationship. Building relationships.
Excellent. I really appreciate it, and I'm gonna finish up by saying that you guys have really been awesome, and we appreciate you being on the call and sharing your information. That's one of the powers that we have at the Builder Trade-In program is we have two people on the same call that did things a little bit differently, and they both had very, very good success. And I think Ray, you hit the nail on the head. It is a lead generation business, not a lead receiving business, but it's a marathon to boot. It's not a sprint. And these are key relationships that if you form them and build them, you're going to have them for life. And I'll give you an example in closing. We were talking to our guys the other day at our Christmas party, and we now have 5 BTI specialists. Ray, I think a lot of you know Ray Sullivan. He's at about $350,000 net to him, with $50,000 in the hopper for going into 2015. Brandon, who started a little slow, is kind of the tortoise in the hare. The tortoise caught up with Ray very quickly, and he's doing about 350 to 360 this year, with another 50 in the hopper for next year. And Mitch, who's only been in it for a while, is now at about 110, which, you know, we try and get you as much as we can your first year. As we were all talking and everybody was kibitzing, I looked around the group and I said, you know, here's an interesting thing. I've known you for 18 years. I've known you for 25 years. I've known you for 22 years. And so here it is 20 to 25 years later, and I'm still making money off the same guys. And we're all making money together. And that's the thing that's the power of the builder trade-in. Like Ray said, these are relationships that if you foster them and you build them and you nurture them, you'll have them for life. We've had people that have left us this year, and they've come back. In Orlando, we had a couple people leave Dan Grieve, and they've come back. The market is tougher than it looks. Marketplace, one of our biggest competitors, has now gotten in trouble for selling real estate without a license in various cities. They cannot even go into the state anymore. So our competition is decreasing, and the services and the products that we're bringing you are increasing. So in the last 30 seconds, I'll tell you, we have 2 things that we're bringing to market. Our NHA program has the automatic search widget that allows you to search any place in the United States, and we rewrote the code through Builder, through BDX, and we now have all leads that are generated by your customers go directly to you. So it cost us thousands of dollars, but we rewrote the code, and we're one of only 4 companies that are allowed to have the BDX feed. BDX is not allowing anyone else to have it. In addition to that, we've added a new widget that'll go on all builder trade-in sites. It will cost us a little bit of money just to get it set up, and then there will be no other fees. But that is a design widget. We're working with one of the top companies in the United States to bring design of new home manipulation to all of our websites and to our new home ambassadors, which will allow you, again, lead generation, lead tracking, but also it'll allow you to gather data and sell that data back to the builders, back to the Home Builder Association, back to your local companies that gather data, and also allow us to push that data out through our sources nationwide. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you all have a safe holiday, and take a little time off. Don't worry about right now being a little bit slow. It should kick in right after Christmas. It normally does, and we're all going to have an awesome, awesome 2015. Again, check your emails, guys. There will be a lot of stuff coming to you. Kyle, can I get a 10-second wrap-up from you, my friend?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, when you said it was slow, right now in December and January, our sales dropped 25% in our community all around the board. So now is the time to hit your sales agents and your builders, because they're struggling. It's slow for them as well, and they're open to any new ideas to get their homes sold.
Absolutely. We just had a guy, David Bryant, in Columbia. He has 5 builders. He sent all 5 of them an email saying, hey, if you want to send to your current and potential homeowners an informational email about the builder trade-in program, I think we can increase your sales in 2015 in the first quarter by 15 to 20%. 2 of the builders called him and said, let's do it. So you're exactly correct, Kyle. They're looking for anything and everything to increase their sales. Last words from you, true words of wisdom, Ray?
Oh, yeah. I would say the same thing. Look at how to add value. Laminate the U.S. housing starts thing. There's a thing to leave them and a tool for them. And then think about the little things that you can do to create, create that relationship and create a long-term, lifetime relationship, like Steve's saying. this is a good time to plan. So plan out what that marketing effort looks like and how to establish and maintain those relationships. And Merry
Perfect.
Christmas, everybody.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Again, watch your email. Stay safe over the holidays. Go visit your builders, and we'll talk to you in 2015. This is Steve Ryder, CEO of the National Builder Trade-In Program, with our two special guests, Kyle and Ray, signing off. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.